friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've been having a lovely holidays, and in today's video we're going to be setting up my 2025 bullet journal in this brand new Yop and Tom bullet journal. I got this in the black color, although I've been using these books for years and I really love their really thick dotted paper. It's going to be perfect for this year's setup. I'm starting off with my Ohuhu fine liner pen in the 0.1 thickness. I have a bunch of these pens and they've been really great for a lot of different setups. For this year's theme, I went with this kind of hanging Polaroid theme. I wanted to do something kind of framed and I had a few different ideas and you guys voted and it helped me select the best idea. So I went with this Polaroid theme. I really like the idea of the Polaroids hanging on a clothespin. I think it's really cute, and the setup was also very simple, so it didn't take me too much time to do the whole setup. I added this text in this kind of cursive font above and below, and then on the other side of the page I have this Polaroid camera that I think is just so cute, and yeah, it's just like a fun little doodle that I wanted to do to add a little bit more to the spread. But this theme was really simple and helped me set it up really quickly. To color it in, I started with my Colors of the World tan colored pens, and I'm going with a kind of black and white and sepia tone theme here, so kind of blacks, whites, grays, and brown neutral tan tones. And I thought this was a cool idea to keep it simple but do something a bit unique that I haven't done before. So I'm using a bunch of different markers here. Another one is the Zebra Mildliner. It's dual tipped and it's got this fine tip on one end and it's got a chisel tip on the other, and it's perfect in this kind of rust brown color to match the color theme that I'm going for in this setup. I added a few sparkles around the Polaroid on the left, and you'll see that this is something I'm going to carry throughout this theme. These kind of sparkles are a great way to like fill in some space and tie it all together, and yeah, they just, I think, kind of complete the look, and they're really cute and fun and simple. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like a separate short video, like a little tutorial on these sparkles and some different types of sparkles you can add to kind of fill in any blank space in your journal and tie it all together and complete the look of the spread. I'm really happy with how the cover page turned out. Super simple, super cute, and yeah, this is the theme that I'm going with, and I'm really happy with how this has turned out. On to the first page now. Normally in a lot of setups you'll see a grid spacer on the first page, and that's what I did last year, and if you've seen my last year's setup or my flip through this year, you'll know that I literally never touched that grid spacer, like not once. So I decided to skip it this year. I'm not doing a grid spacer, even though I know most people do include one in their bullet journal setup. It's just not useful for me, so I skipped it and I've gone right to the goal setting page, which is one that I use much more. In hindsight, I sort of wish I put like reflections first and then goals, because I think that makes a bit more like chronological sense. You know, you reflect on the past and then set some goals moving forward, but anyhow, this is what I ended up doing, and I did a goals page here. For the font, I'm doing a sort of mixed media font, and you're going to be seeing me doing this throughout the entire theme, but every letter is kind of a different font, doing a sort of mix and match between calligraphy, block letters. The L is a sort of like a stamp or something. I have like a typewriter font, and I think this font is really, really fun because the theme with the Polaroids is really simple, just the like square frames. So by adding these different types of lettering and fonts, it makes it seem much more fun. And if you know me, you know I love the fonts and the lettering part of bullet journaling, so this was really fun for me, and I'm really happy with how this spread has turned out. filled in the background with, again, more of those sparkles. And now moving on to the next spread, which is going to be a reflections page. So as I said before, maybe it would have made more sense if it was reflections first and then goal setting, but I liked the layout that I had better for goals, so I didn't want to erase all the pencil and redraw it. So this page is going to be the reflections page, and same as before, I'm doing a mixed media kind of lettering here on the side. I really like the C I did. I made it look like a little postage stamp, and yeah, I did a mix of block letter and calligraphy over there. And then on the right side I have some hanging Polaroids, like hanging on the clothespins, and since there's no text, like the text is going to go in the middle of the page, so since I didn't have text for the Polaroids, I just wanted to kind of fill in the Polaroids with something kind of simple and not too, like, I don't want the Polaroid art to be the star of the show. I was just kind of filling in the background, so I just drew these sort of random abstract shapes that I'm going to color in the same color theme, but I wanted the focus to be just on the layout of the Polaroids and also the really funky lettering that I've done. So yeah, I just did those kind of like random blobs and shapes. And now I'm going to color everything in the same black, white, grays, and sepia brown tones. I haven't decided yet what I want the prompts to be. Probably like some kind of looking back on 2024 and kind of looking ahead to 2025, what I want to work on, things I'm happy about, things I'm not so happy about. But I haven't filled this in yet. I decided to leave it blank for now, and then when it comes to writing in and setting up my journaling for the new year, then I'll decide what's important to me at the time. But let me know in the comments below if you guys have suggestions for prompts that would be nice to think about in a reflections page, or what you guys would put in your journal for your reflections moving into 2025. The next spread is going to be a future log, and last year I did a sort of Dutch door booklet thing and I loved it so much that I decided to do the same layout for this year's future log. So you can see I've drawn out the big box in the center, and I'm going to cut it out and then it'll flip like a little booklet. So I'm first just tracing what I have on this page, again with the same kind of mixed media lettering, and then as you can see the rest of the word is a couple pages later, and I'm going to cut out the middle. So first I'm drawing like a sort of large, I did a sort of, I guess it's like a kind of horizontal Polaroid, I don't know if that exists, but that's how I drew it for now. Then I'm going to cut out this middle bit, and you're going to see how that creates a little booklet. Now I'm just finishing off the other half of the Polaroid, and I'm going to write all the months inside this booklet. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm using the same brand journal that I've used many times before. I just got a new color this year, but I've used this journal many times before. One thing I noticed is that it doesn't have enough pages for all the spreads that I do for the entire year. So this journal lasts about 7 or maybe 8 months, depending on how many pages I use for each month, but definitely not for a full year. So I end up going through 2 journals, and I'll link my flip through video from 2024 below if you're curious to see that, but I went through almost 2 full journals, and so this future log doesn't end up being used the entire year because I'm in another journal for the second half of the year. I used it a lot for the first half, but then not so much for the second half. So I made space for all 12 months, but I kind of wonder if the smart thing to do would be to do a 6-month future log here, and then another 6-month future log in the later journal for the next half of the year. What do you guys think? I've never seen that in other videos, but I feel like that might be the way to go. On to the next spread now, and here I wanted to do like a sort of highlight reel, which is something I did last year, and kind of showcase a little snippet from each month. So I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to showcase a snippet of the theme that I did in my journal or a snippet of my actual life, as in like printing out a photo and pasting it in. So last year I did both a year in themes spread where I kind of drew like a little snippet of each theme, And I did a highlight reel where I will print out photos and paste them in from each month. So this year I decided to just do this one spread and kind of leave it open to me for some flexibility later, but I think I'll probably go with the photos route. I think that's a little bit more special and fun to look at as opposed to a year in themes like snippet of each bullet journal theme. Again, because I don't really look at this journal after the first half of the year because I'll move to a new journal, so it's harder to kind of come back to this one and draw in a snippet of the theme. So I think this is going to be a spread for a photo from each month. Yeah, kind of representing a fun or like core memory from that month that I want to remember looking back on this year. But yeah, I'm leaving it open for now for myself to think about later in the year, and I'm just coloring in this page with the same brown, gray, white and black kind of theme here. Lastly, on this spread, I have two other things I wanted to add into my journal. These are new. I did not have either of these spreads last year, but as I'm thinking about it this year, these are things that I think I would like to have some space to write about in my 2025 setup. So on the left side, I'm creating a things to check out page. And just like the reflections page, I'm not writing the prompts or like the categories of things to check out yet. So let me know in the comments if you guys have some suggestions of categories that might be nice to write down some ideas of things to check out. But I've seen in other creators' setups, they have like books or music or that kind of thing. Honestly, I'm not a big like book reader and I listen to music, but I'm not like super into music. So for me, I think things to check out, restaurants, I think will be one category. I love checking out new restaurants in town and knowing about the good restaurants to go to. And then maybe also like travel ideas or something like that. I'm not 100% sure yet. But on the other side of this page, I created a spread to plan out my 2026 planner. In case you guys don't know already, I released a 2025 planner this fall and it was so exciting and so popular. The interest and support really blew me away and really motivated me to do an even better job next year. So I've created the whole spread there to plan out the monthly themes that I want to do in the 2026 planner, as well as other tasks and ideas that I have for it. I'm thinking that this 2025 setup I did is great. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and it will probably be the yearly setup for the 2026 planner. So if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to save it and follow me. Subscribe to my channel so you can get updates later in the year when I release my 2026 planner that I suspect likely will have this setup in it. Last but certainly not least, on the very last page of this 2026 setup, I wanted to do a brain dump. I did this last year, I did it even in my mid-year setup, and it was one of my most used spreads. I think it's just a great space basically to write any notes or anything that doesn't fit anywhere else. And I ended up writing so much on this page because I just had tons of stuff to write down, and whenever it didn't fit somewhere else, I would just dump it on this brain dump page. So yeah, I drew a cute little Polaroid in the bottom to kind of tie this page back with the very first cover page where I also had a Polaroid doodle, and then I'm writing brain dump in the same mix match kind of random mix of different lettering styles. I really love the P, again, that postage stamp I think is so cute. But now I'm just coloring in the Polaroid in the same color scheme and palette that I did for the rest of the setup. And that's pretty much it for this year's 2026 bullet journal setup. Let me know in the comments which spread was your favorite, and I'm also curious to know which spread is the most useful in your opinion. I thought a lot and learned a lot this year about choosing with intention the spreads that I put in my journal and not just copying what everyone else is doing or drawing or creating what I think should be in a bullet journal, but creating spreads that are useful and relevant to my life. I think I was much more mindful about that in this year's setup than last year's setup, so that's a big improvement for me. And I would love to know what your thoughts are on which spreads are most useful and most intentional to you. And here is the final flip through of my 2025 bullet journal setup. I'm so happy that I chose this Polaroid theme. I think it's so cute and simple, yet still really fun and creative. I love the Polaroid frames that gave me space to map things out, and I love the font that I went with. I think that was my favorite part of setting up this entire theme. I still have a few things to fill in, like the rest of the months, as well as the reflection prompts, so I would love to have your suggestions for that. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a beautiful holiday season and wishing you all the best for 2025. See you next time. Bye, friends.